Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny from Fitness with Dan, and today we've got an intermediate upper body and core program. So it's 30 minutes long and we are looking at 6 different exercises. So today we've got a release press up, some wide rows, a single arm press, a single arm row, some farmer walks, well, 3 different types of farmer walks, and a low to high dumbbell wood chop to finish off. So if all of those exercises seem fairly familiar to you, then skip straight ahead to the video, make sure you've had a warm up, and I'll see you in a second. If you would like a little bit of coaching on them, stick around because I'm going to go through them now. Okay guys, so before we go through the exercises individually, let me just talk you through the system that we're using today. So we've got 3 different sections. The first section, your release press up and your wide rows. We're going to be working for 45 seconds, resting for 15, and we're going to do that 4 times. Second section, single arm pushing and pulling, so an overhead press and a row. And again, we're going to be working 45, 15, 3 rounds, okay? Last section, so farmer walks and low to high wood chops. So this you're only going to do 2 times. You're going to have 30 seconds on each different variation of the farmer walk, then 30 seconds each side on the low to high wood chop, then you'll rest for 60 seconds. Okay, so that's a little bit more like a circuit, right? There's no rest in between those. And like I said, you'll do that 2 times. In between each section, you'll have an additional minute to rest and grab a drink of water. Okay, that's it. Let's have a look at the exercises. So first up guys, we've got a release press up. Just like your normal press up, all the same rules apply. You're just going to release your hands at the bottom. Okay, so whether you're doing a full version or you're on your knees, just make sure that your wrist is directly underneath the shoulder and that your hips are locked in wherever you are. Okay, so you've got some tension in your stomach. From there, you're just going to lower yourself to the ground, all the way, get the chest to touch the floor, and then when you get there, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together to lift your hands off the floor. From there, put the hands back on, make sure everything's engaged, and then push up, repeat. Okay, so the difference really is it's going to force some extra range, and it's also going to get you guys quite familiar with engaging all the right muscles before you perform an action. Because with a normal press up you've got constant tension on. With this you disengage and have to re-engage, so it teaches the body to do that without having to think too much, which is quite good. Just with the breathing, when you lie down completely, you want to kind of hold your breath for a second because it's extremely difficult to breathe at that point. So listen to the breathing on it. Okay, so inhale, hold, breathe out, and that's your release press up. So wide rows next guys, as this is an intermediate program. I'm assuming you guys are quite comfortable getting into a hinge position, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but nice and simply, dumbbells in front of you, stick your bum out, keep your chest up, shoulders back and down, looking forwards, and then just slide down towards your knees, or if you've got the flexibility, a little bit below. Make sure the back's nice and extended, okay? So that's the position you're going to be in the whole time. From there, you're just going to row like so. Okay, so it's an outward row. My finished position is looking at about 90 degrees at the elbow, and my focus here is squeezing my shoulder blades together. A couple things to watch out for. First of all, I don't want to see any pulling up. Okay, it's, even though it's a wide row, it's still a backward pull. Okay, so we're kind of pulling towards the bottom of our ribs. You know, like with a normal bent over row, you'd pull towards your hand toward the hips. This one is more rib level, okay? But you're still trying to keep your shoulders back and down, still trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together as you go to do the pull. And the very last thing with that one, it's quite a long time to be in this position, right? So if at any point you feel that the muscles responsible for the pull have still got some juice in them, but your back extensors are starting to seize up, just come up, squeeze your bum, squeeze your abdominals like you would a deadlift, let the tension release, and off you go again, okay? So that's your wide row. So single arm press, guys. Now there's a few ways you can do this, and I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you whether you guys do a military press, so just using the upper body, or you do a push press, so using the whole body, using that kinetic chain. And it's kind of going to depend on what kind of weight you're working with. If you've got something really light, you'll probably want to do the military press. If it's a little bit heavier, then do the push press. I'll be doing the push press. Now, stance set up. So I'll show you from this side, we want your feet both pointing forwards, and we want them hip width apart, okay? You're going to step back with one, and when you step back, make sure that you don't step inwards or outwards, directly back, so you've still got that hip width distance, but we're not stepping back too far. It's not like a lunge kind of distance. It's just enough so we've got some support and stability. Now, from here we want to have both legs taking the load of our body. Okay, so it's not a case of stepping back and having that stabilize you. It's a case of your pelvis going into the middle. So you can have a look, I've got a bend at that knee, this knee's soft, and that heel is pointing up to the ceiling, so I'm pushing down through my toes to create that stability. And if you were to draw a line through my spine, you can see I'm pretty much in the middle of those two grounding points, those 2 feet. Once you've got that down, just make sure that glute, the glute of the back leg, is nice and tight so that your hips extended and you're not flexing at all, okay? So glutes nice and tight, chest nice and high, and that is your position. Now, if you're doing the military press, then from there it's simply just pushing up above your head like so. If you're doing the push press, we've got a little load, okay, so we're not going down like a lunge, just a little load, and then we've got a push, right, through the whole body, through the floor, out to the hand, and that's going to help us get that dumbbell above our head. Then we're going to control, load, explode. Control, load, explode. Okay. Now, a couple things with where this is going and where this stuff should be. So, if you have a look at me from a side view, I've got my wrist directly above my elbow. Okay, so I'm not coming in here at any point. Also, I've got my elbow pointing forwards. I don't mind if you flare out a little bit. Please don't come out here, however. Okay, so elbow still pointing forwards. The other arm, I'll leave it up to you. Sometimes I like to have it out for a counterbalance. Again, kind of leave that up to you. Now, when you're pressing, guys, make sure that you are pressing straight up and not forwards, okay? And if you find that it gets heavy and you begin to feel like you want to lean back to get it straight up, that's when you really need to make sure that glute's nice and tight so that you can't lean back too far. Keep this nice and tight as well, so that keeps you upright, okay? Right, that is your single arm press. Okay, so single arm row. Now, setting the position up is key here, and it's going to follow some of the rules as your single arm press. So what we're looking to do here, if I show you from this front view first, is the same thing, hips, hip width apart at the feet, both are pointing forwards. Now from there we're going to take a really, really big step back, okay? So I'm talking about this kind of distance, and then I'm going to lower myself, keep sliding that leg back until I can meet here, okay? So I've got my elbow rested on my knee, okay? Now, see this line from ankle, knee, hip to shoulder? I want that to stay completely straight the entire time, okay? Right, so that's kind of the setup. Now, there's a few things you want to watch out for with this. First of all, that back foot. So watch this foot as I go back. We don't want that to turn out at all, okay? Lots of people like to have it like this. I need you to be in this position, just like your push press, you're on the toes, right? The other thing is rotation at the torso. I want you to get as square as you can. Now, there's a few things that might throw you off here. Once you get into that position, so this is what we're looking for. You can see my shoulders are pretty much the same height. I don't want to turn out. This is what people like to do. Don't want to turn out like this, and that usually goes hand in hand with this. Okay, so keep those as square as you can, and keep your back extended, your spine extended as well as best you can. Now from there, it's just a simple case of pulling that towards your hip, driving your elbow up nice and high, finishing at 90 degrees at the elbow. And what you want to feel going on with your shoulder blade is that when you pull, the shoulder blade comes toward the other one. When you release, you begin to feel that separate. Not come up, but separate. Okay, so it goes away from the other shoulder blade. Together, pull through, control down, feel it separate. And then as soon as you feel it separate, guys, you want to pull, and you want to pull hard so you can take advantage of that stretch reflex. Okay, that is your single arm row. Okay, so farmer walks, 3 different types. Now we've got 2 rounds of this section. So you're going to be holding the dumbbells in 3 different positions. Above the head, at the shoulders, and down at your hips like shopping bags. Round 1, all you're going to be doing in all of those 3 things is walking backwards and forwards on whatever kind of space you have. On round 2, you're going to be doing the same thing, but you're going to be sidestepping. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with that. Now, let me talk you through the positions. So let's start off with the hardest, above the head. Once you get these guys above the head, we want your, I don't know if you can see too well, but we want your wrist directly above your shoulder. Okay, so we don't want to be out here, we don't want to have any of that kind of stuff going on, and you want to keep it there. Now, for a lot of you who lack that kind of flexibility, you're going to be inclined to lean back. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. So if it's quite hard for me to get up here, I'm going to give myself the illusion that they're straight up by leaning back. I want you to avoid that at all costs. So the first thing you're going to do is try to brace, engage your abdominals, and keep your chest high. Okay, so in this position, abdominals are engaged, chest is high, and I can get them above my head. Okay, if you cannot do that due to flexibility, don't do the overhead one. Okay, you're just going to do 2 rounds of holding them here. Now obviously as you move, as you walk forwards and backwards, these are going to become unstable, so it's your job to keep your shoulders where they are to stabilize those dumbbells, keep your core engaged so you're not leaning back, etc, etc. Now the last thing, have a look at my shoulders. So when you're up there, you guys are going to have your shoulders near your ears initially. I want you to stack them, try and get them down. I'll show you from here. So it's quite easy to hold them up here, stack down like so. Okay, so that's the first one, that's the overhead. Once I call time, or the timer goes off, you're going to come from that position to this position here. Okay, so you can see my wrist is directly above my shoulder, and these are out in front of me, and my elbows are pointing forwards. So we're not here, we're not resting them on us, we're over here. So we've got tension on the shoulders, we've got tension on the core, and we're not going to break stride, we're just going to lower them as we're walking backwards, forwards, or side to side. Number 3, very, very simple, just take them down to this position, and all your focus is here is gripping, squeezing, making sure the thumb is wrapped around and it's not hanging off your fingers, and then just keeping your chest high, shoulders drawn back and down. And that's your farmer walks. Okay, last one guys, loads of high wood chops. Now these are pretty tricky, they're going to be the most intricate and complicated that we do. So first let's talk about how you're going to hold the dumbbell. Now this is going to depend on the type of dumbbell you have. Also the weight you have on the dumbbell. If this is a new move and you're dealing with fairly heavy dumbbells, I'd do the first round or have a practice now with just your hands to get the movement down, okay? Or a tin of beans or whatever you want to use. But anyway, how you grip the dumbbell. Now if you've got a small dumbbell, you're probably going to want to grip it like this, okay? Intertwine the fingers if the handle's big enough, or one under, one over. If like me, you've got a dumbbell like this, you're going to want to grip either side in a switch grip. So one under, one over, like so. Now if I'm going toward the right, my right hand is under and my left hand is over. So that's how we grip it. Now I'll just show you a couple repetitions. So first off, your stance is similar to that of a push press, okay? It's a little bit longer, okay? So if your push press stance is here, you're about here. We're talking sort of same width as like a boxing stance, if any of you guys have ever done any martial arts or something. Anyway, from there, we are going to be trying to take this dumbbell to the outside of our knee, and then in a straight diagonal, take it above our head, okay? Kind of like shoveling, okay? That's pretty much the action we're doing here. So a really good way to think about the low to high wood chop as well is actually like you're chopping. So if I use this as an example, okay? So if you guys imagine that my ukulele is an axe, right? And you've got some wood in front of you here. You're in this position here. Actually, you'd be starting here. You'd have this above your shoulder and you'd go 1, 2, chop through, yeah? And you'd take it up, yeah? So the difference between this and actually chopping wood is that we want the power going upwards, okay? So we're going control. The motion is exactly the same. Now, we wouldn't be using our feet to do this, okay? We need a kinetic chain. So have a look at my feet and just try this with me if you've never done anything like this before. Okay, so standing normally, you're gonna go one heel up as you turn and push into the floor. Then that heel is going to go down as the other one comes up, okay? Down, up, and just get used to that for a second, and you should feel that if you speed that up a little bit, your arms start to move on their own accord, okay? Because you're creating momentum, you've got that kinetic chain working. So that's essentially how we're going to use the dumbbell. I don't want you guys using your arms and your shoulders and stuff for it. It's that powerful kinetic chain, same kind of thing as when you do your push press. Okay, it's that little bounce or that twist or push into the floor that's going to create the momentum and move the load. Like I said, you're in a staggered stance. So your start position is over here. Okay, we've got the dumbbell, however we're holding it, on the outside of our front knee, and then the back foot will initiate the movement. Down, up, up, okay? But much more fluid than that. So again, if you look at my pelvis, it stays in the middle, but my torso, here I'm leaning forwards, and here I'm pretty much in the center, but I am rotating my torso a little bit. So when you go to lean forwards, it's really important to keep a neutral spine here, okay? So I'm definitely not going to flex, because that's going to put pressure here and put some strain on the muscles in the lower back. And we're definitely not going to hyperextend, because that's going to switch this off, and we need this to keep our spine supported, okay? Now, when we rotate and come to this position, so you can see about here, my hips and my sternum are still aligned, so I haven't actually gone into a rotation. So through the most part of the movement, all that's happening around here is this is stabilizing you through motion. Towards the end of the motion, because we're moving powerfully, you're going to find that your hips end up about here, but your torso continues a rotation. So this is when these guys work a little bit harder in terms of movement, okay? Now the hardest part of this exercise on this area is decelerating, okay? So we accelerate, and right about here, we're going to have to go back down, right? And that's when we've got that torso twist. So this is where you need to make sure that you are breathing out short and sharp to give this as much pressure and support as possible, okay? So I'll show you a couple reps. So I'm starting here, back's nice and neutral, staggered stance. I go one down, one up, and through, and then inhale. Okay, so it's exhaling on the way up, inhaling on the way down. Now, the whole time you need to keep yourself really, really balanced between those 2 feet, okay? So one big mistake I see is people trying to move both feet at the same time and doing this. Okay, we need it to be one down, one up, ba-bum, ba-bum, okay? So if you are on the toes at any one point, even for a second, you're going to completely destabilize yourself. Okay, so one at a time, yep. And that's your low to high wood chop. Okay guys, so make sure you have had a warm up, and if you need to practice any of those movements before we start, do go ahead now. I'll be giving you some tips along the way. However, the low to high wood chop I won't really be able to, because I have to focus on my breathing to keep everything nice and safe here. So that one in particular, make sure you have a little practice before we start. Right, let's get ready. Okay guys, so we've got release press ups to start. Make sure you've got some water next to you, and we're on in 5 seconds. So into position on your knees, off your knees, whatever you want to do. Here we go. Control down, hands up. Breathe out and push. Focus on the breathing. And the re-engaging of everything, particularly your core, as you go to push back up. Okay, cool. So get your dumbbells ready. We've got wide rows next. So breathing's quite hard with that one, isn't it? Right, dumbbells up. Hip hinge and pulling wide, about bottom of the rib level. Okay, so remember, use the full range you have. Make sure that back's extended. Breathe out as you pull. In as you control, okay? And when you control, don't let the dumbbells touch together. Make sure you've got solid grip and they're not hanging off your fingers. Make sure the thumb is wrapped around and you're actively squeezing the dumbbells. Good, one round down, 3 to go. Okay, get yourself into position. And remember that release comes from you squeezing your shoulder blades together. Here we go. Okay, good. Okay, ready for the wide rows. Low as we can, small bend at the knee, big bend at the hips. You guys should know the hip hinge position. Here we go. Make sure the chest's high and the head's looking forwards ever so slightly. And if you're feeling too much tension in the lower erectors, then stand up, squeeze the bum and the stomach, back down. Good, 2 down, 2 to go. Quick sip of water. Right, get ready for the release press-ups. Make sure you fully lock the elbow when you push up. Now, if that one's getting quite hard, guys, and you feel you're not able to control your core when you're pushing up, just drop your knees, not a problem at all. Okay, dumbbells up, wide rows, here we go. Hinge, breathe out and pull. Make sure there's still a backward element to that pull, not an upward, okay? Shoulders are down the whole time. And when we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, we're thinking about squeezing the bottom of them together. So that helps us keep the shoulders down. Okay, 3 down, 1 to go. Get a full minute's rest after this, guys, so you can really work hard on this round. Whew. Off you go. Whew. Okay, one more on the wide rows. Dumbbells up, get yourselves ready. And hinge. Okay, minute to rest. Chuck a dumbbell away, you only need one. So we've got single arm press, single arm rows. So it's 45 seconds one side, 15 seconds rest. 45 seconds the other side, 15 seconds rest. And then we repeat 3 times. Single arm press first. Remember, we've got that staggered stance, about this kind of distance, hips over the middle, not leaning on the front leg or anything like that. Chest's nice and high, pushing straight up, elbow pointing forwards, not outwards, core nice and tight. Remember, if you've got a really light dumbbell, then you can do this without your legs. Otherwise, use your legs, make it a push press like me, where you are on in 15 seconds. Whew. So get a pace you can maintain. 45 seconds is quite a long time. Right, dumbbells up, and off you go. Load, explode, control. Good, okay. That's one side down, a couple seconds to breathe. So you're always breathing out on the push, and you can break each rep down into either 2 breaths or 4 breaths. I like to do 4, so have a listen to me if you want to do the same as me. If you found your own way, fantastic. Okay, off we go. Okay, so single arm rows next. So if you guys put the dumbbell just outside of one of your feet, and then with the foot closest to it, take your step back, and then you're pretty much good to go. So remember, straight line ankle knee to hip, rest the elbow, stay square, and pull to the hip. So when you finish that pull, we should have a nice 90-degree bend at the elbow. And remember, you want to feel that shoulder blade separating as you control down, coming towards the other as you pull up. Okay? Remember, we're aiming for the hip. You'll probably feel quite a lot of pressure on your legs with this one as well. Remember, keep that torso nice and square. Cool, I'm going to show you from a front view this time so you can see what I mean about the torso being square. Okay, set yourself up. When you hear that bell, pull. Okay, so right now you can see my torso is quite square. It's going to be quite easy to do this. Okay, this is what a lot of people do. So make sure you're focusing on keeping those shoulders the same height. Okay, not rotating the torso too much. Head's looking straight forwards. And both toes pointing forwards. Okay, if your back foot starts to point outwards, you're going to turn your hips and your torso. Almost there. Good. Okay, 1 round down, 2 to go. Now with the push press, you may have also noticed at the very top, I took a half-second pause to ensure I have stability before I control down. Okay, I'll show you from a front view this time. Off you go. Good, okay. Swap it over, very, very small rest. So as you saw on that round, elbows always pointing forward. You would have also noticed my chin kind of looking up a little bit to help keep extension at the upper spine and see where that dumbbell is to help stabilize. Off you go. Find a nice breathing rhythm. And remember, it's load, explode, control. Load, explode, control. Okay, get ready for your one-arm rows. Show you side view again. So dumbbell on the outside of your foot. Big step back, elbow on, and slide back until you get extension at the hip and spine. Okay, it's a straight line from ankle, knee, hip to shoulder. Breathe out as you pull towards the hip. You're almost thinking about not just getting the elbow going upwards, but getting the elbow to go towards your spine. That's going to give us a better activation of the lats. Lots to focus on here, guys. Balance, direction of pull, breathing, posture, the extension we spoke about, and not rotating at the hips. Good. Okay, let's swap sides. Here you go.
17.
Remember, keep both those toes pointing forwards. You've got your main weight in the heel of the front foot, not the toe. Okay? Good. 2 rounds down, 1 to go. And then we've got a 4-minute rest. Right, dumbbell up. Push press.
18.
You'll also notice the bend I do for my push press is very small, but very sharp when I push up. Okay, swap it over, guys. Set the stance, feel the pelvis is in the middle, feel that you're balanced. Remember, you can do whatever you want with the other hand. I like to counterbalance by putting it out a bit. Up you go.
Round 13.
Load, explode, control. Make sure that dumbbell travels directly above you, not out in front. Make sure the chest's high, but we're not leaning back. Chest heads up, ever so slightly looking up. Okay. Just 1 more to go on the rows. Whew. Okay, get yourself set up, guys. Nice long stance. Extension at knee, hip,
20.
and spine, and take your time, find your breathing rhythm, remember the direction of pull, remember where you should feel your weight, remember to keep the shoulders square, remember to feel that shoulder blades separate on the way down, come together on the way up. Good. And don't forget to use full range here, guys. On the way down, we want the elbow to straighten, but we also want the shoulder to come forwards a bit to get that stretch reflex. And on the way up, we pull as far as we can, which will be elbow at 90 degrees roughly. Good. Okay, full minute to rest, guys. Take your time, have some water. Okay, so just 2 rounds of the core stuff.
Round 22.
So when we start, those dumbbells are above our head for 30 seconds, shoulders 30 seconds, shopping bags 30 seconds. The whole time we're working forward and backward, and we're not going to break stride as we transition, okay? Whatever kind of room you've got, 2 steps forwards, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And when we get to the low to high wood chops, I won't be able to instruct you because I'm going to need to focus on my breathing. So make sure you have tried that out beforehand if it's new to you. Okay, it's all about grounding yourself. Take the movement slowly at first. You don't have to put all the power on the way up just yet. Much more important to get the motion, to get the movement, to get that integration, to feel comfortable and natural. Okay? Right, dumbbells up and above your heads. Core tight, shoulders locked, and off you go.
23.
Try and keep them directly above your head. It helps to squeeze them a little bit for shoulder stability. Walk nice and slow so you can control them. Keep your core tight so you don't lean back too much. Okay, down to shoulders. Remember, core still tight, chest still high. Still walking slowly so we can stabilize. But your wrist is directly above your elbow. Your elbow is pointing directly forwards. And the dumbbells are not resting at all on your body. Okay, keep the shoulder blades together as best you can as well. Couple more seconds, then drop them down. Okay, down we go. This is the nice easy one. So core still tight, chest still high, and shoulders are back and down. Now, squeeze those dumbbells, okay? Do not let them hang off your fingers. Use your thumb. Wrap all of your digits around them and squeeze. Another 10 seconds. When you hear the bell, you're going to chuck a dumbbell down and go straight into low to high wood chops, okay? Okay, off you go. Swap it over. 25. Rest. 1 minute. Whew. One more round and we're done. So these core movements, guys, these farmers and these chops, are all about stabilizing this as your body does other things. Okay, so this time on the farmers, you guys are going to be walking side to side, trying to keep as stable as you can, kind of Space Invader style. Have a drink, 20 seconds. Okay, dumbbells up, above the head, lock the shoulders, and off you go. Keep the feet pointing forwards, just very, very slowly sidestep. Keep those dumbbells directly above the shoulders, core tight so we don't lean back, head up ever so slightly, and remember stack the shoulders, okay, so that they're not near our ears. Down a little bit, almost there. Okay, down to shoulders, keep them pointing forwards, keep the chest high and the core tight, and do not let them rest on you. Okay, wrist is directly above elbow, elbows in front of the body, so unless you've got massive dumbbells, there's no excuse to let them rest on you. Shoulder blades together. Okay, shopping bags chest high, shoulder blades back and down, and same thing. And remember, squeeze with the thumb, squeeze with all the digits, do not let it hang off your fingertips, okay? You need to support the elbow. Another 10 seconds, then chuck a dumbbell down. I'll show you the wood chops from a front view this time. Okay, off we go. Okay, swap it over, off you go. Okay, all done. Okay, rest guys. Chill out, do whatever you need to do. Okay, well done. You guys are all done. Make sure you have a cool down after this. Thank you for joining me today. If you found that useful, want to do it again at any point, just make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that favourites thingy. So this will be in your favourites, so you can just go into your favourites and do it whenever you want to. Right, have a good day.